All right, so just wanted to cover some HAB presentation requirements. First off, make sure your presentation follows a 7x7 rule, no more than 7 bullet points, no more than 7 words per bullet. These are maximums. You don't need 7 bullet points. You don't need to have 7 words. 2 sub-bullets like this will count as 1 bullet point. So if I was combining all 3 of these, I would be looking at 2 bullet points. Things that don't count towards a rule of 7x7, symbols like and, dollar signs, or percents. Straight numbers, 7, 8, 9, 1,000, doesn't count. Words that are 3 letters or shorter, a, and, the, or, things like that. Just remember, copying pasting, you're going to get a 0 for that section. This is typically not a problem when you're going by the rule of 7x7. Now, if you're wondering, wait a minute, I copied and pasted the scientific name. That's fine. Like I said, there's some things that there is no way to reword them, like a scientific name. But if you're copying and pasting whole bullet points, then we might have a bit of an issue. So stay away from prices and slideshows because, again, you don't know if they're right or wrong. So I'm just going to give a quick breakdown of each of the slides. So on slide number 1, I just need the HAB name, brown tide, red tide, whatever it happens to be, group member names. After that, what is an HAB? Now look, just do a general search in Google for HAB. I don't need to know about your specific HAB yet. What are the socioeconomic impacts of an HAB? Now, this is important. You have to look for economic impacts if there are any. So how does this hurt the economy or business? So make sure you definitely take a look at that because a lot of them will. Specific HAB name. Okay. Now this one is just like red tide, brown tide, but now I want the specific phytoplankton or organism that is causing this. Again, it's always 2 parts. So like if you take a look at the shark here, this is a great white shark. Again, it's a 2-part name. If you're unsure, again, make sure you ask me so that we can take a look. Then I want 2 images of that algae or phytoplankton responsible. And then you have to cite where you got the source. A good example is someplace where you can click on it and I can find the picture pretty fast. Here's some bad examples. Again, take a look at your Google Doc. This one takes way too long to find the picture that you were using. All right, this one you got to be careful with. I need to know a marine species that is affected. If a marine species is affected, a lot of them will, not all of them. Do not use shellfish. So if it says, oh, it impacts oysters or clams or mussel, like scallops, none of that counts. Do not include oysters. Do not include scallops. Typically, it's the one after that. So it's either an animal that eats scallops that's going to get hurt, or later on humans that eat scallops and they get hurt. The thing with this one is it's going to ask you for the common name and the scientific name. So let me go back to the great white shark. So if I was doing the great white shark, this is a scientific name. Now, if I write it like this, it is incorrect. So again, it's always 2. So take a look at your organisms. If you are only seeing one thing for the name of the organism affected, you got to dig a little deeper and make sure you have a 2-part name there. Then give me 2 images of the marine species affected. Then on slide number 7, I want to know the symptoms. So the symptoms of the affected marine organisms. Now, I'm going to come back here. So what happens if your particular HAB does not impact marine species? Well, in your case, it'll be humans. This will be easy. Humans, common name, scientific name, Homo sapien. Okay, and it would be the organism, okay, that's affected because they're eating shellfish. And again, your HAB might include marine species and humans. Maybe yours is just marine species. Do they have to eat shellfish to get sick or to get hurt? No. Some of your HABs, just by swimming in the water, you are going to have some effects from the HAB. Now, number 5, I don't need to know anything other than organism names. Okay, so either marine species or humans. Now, when you get down to number 7, you're going to explain, okay, so whatever you listed here, so let's just say I listed great white shark, okay, what happens to the great white shark because of this HAB? Do they get skin lesions? Does death occur? That sort of thing. What happens if your HAB doesn't affect marine organisms? It only affects humans. Okay, well, same thing. List any symptoms that affect humans. What if your HAB affects both? List both. What area does your HAB typically occur? So where in the world will you find this HAB? Most HABs, you can find them across the world. Some of them are very specific. You'll only find them in a very few places. This one here, I need a map showing where your HAB occurs with, and then when the most recent outbreak was. I don't need your most recent outbreak on the map. I just need a map, and then just write on there somewhere the most recent outbreak was in 2017 in this location. But again, I just need to know the where and the when. As far as APA citations, you need a minimum of 4 citations. Keep the font relatively small. Right here it says you can use 10 to the n, number of slides. Doesn't really matter. You want to use 1 slide for all your citations, that's fine. Keep the font like small but legible. If you want to use 2, 3, 4, 5 slides for citations, go ahead. If you want to create a citation slide for each person, so 4 people, 4 citation slides, everybody puts in their citations on a different slide, that's fine. I just need to know where you got your info from. In particular, which ones am I looking at the most? This one right here, images. Where did that image come from? Is there a link to that website? Again, take a look at good versus bad examples. If it takes me to Google Images, or you just pulled something off of Google Images, I'm going to find out because of the link. So don't use Google Images. Like I said, you got to dig a little bit deeper. And I think that's about it. Just take a look at the point values here on the side. This is where, like I said, I'm going to deduct. A couple places to watch out for. Obviously, the APA citations. And then right here, what are the symptoms? What are the symptoms of the species affected? Make sure you get that right.